في السودان شفت كم سنة اشتغلنا حاجاتنا كلنا جينا هناك ولا واحد ما جبنا ولا شفت كده بس جينا هنا راجل وانا مشان ما بعرف انا هسي كم سنة بفتش بس ما قال الجو انا ما بعرف انا لحد هسي.
Thousands of refugees fleeing violence in Ethiopia seek safety in eastern Sudan as a new humanitarian crisis unfolds in the Horn of Africa. They're escaping the northern region of Tigray, where Amnesty International says likely hundreds were stabbed or hacked to death in a massacre on November 9.
When the federal forces entered the town of Mekelle, they found hundreds of dead bodies strewn across the streets. And most of the victims are from ethnic Amara group, based on the witnesses we spoke to.
Long simmering internal tensions in Ethiopia evolved into deadly conflict in November. This after Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed ordered government forces to attack the rest of northern region of Tigray. He blamed its leaders for a strike on a federal army base and has since launched a military offensive against the region's rebellious government.
The plan of the TPLF clique.
Prime Minister Ahmed, who is last year's Nobel Peace Prize winner, is facing international pressure to de-escalate and accept mediation. Ahmed, meanwhile, says the government's military operation is essential to restoring law and order. On November 22nd, he gave Tigrayan rebels an ultimatum: surrender peacefully within 72 hours or be offered no mercy.
This is a long-standing dispute that began when the northern Tigray region and the Tigray People's Liberation Front party lost power in 2018 to Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed, who came in obviously with huge aspirations to reform the economy, to reform the country's record with its human rights and its level of repression. And at this point, the Tigrayans fled Addis. Some of them were accused with criminal charges. They then became fugitives, and that marked the beginning of more than 2 years of standoff between former rulers of Ethiopia and the current government. The Tigray region held an election very recently in September because they deemed the government should have held a national election by then. And the government said they wouldn't because of the COVID pandemic, which resulted in the Tigray accusing the government of being illegitimate, etc. And the icing on the cake was a refusal to accept Abiy Ahmed's new commander for the Northern Command in the north. And I think once this happened, it was only a matter of time before there were clashes.
Thousands of refugees.
The UN Office on Genocide Prevention condemned reports of targeted attacks against civilians and warned that new rhetoric sets, quote, a dangerous trajectory that heightens the risk of genocide and crimes against humanity.
The UN High Commissioner for Human Rights, Michelle Bachelet, is expressing increasing alarm at the rapidly deteriorating situation in Tigray. She warns that if the Tigray regional forces and Ethiopian government forces continue down the path they're on, there is a risk this situation will spiral totally out of control, leading to heavy casualties and destruction, as well as mass displacement within Ethiopia itself and across borders.
The humanitarian crisis that would emerge from a situation of civil war in Ethiopia would be huge. We are familiar with the outflow of Ethiopian refugees in the region in the 1990s, particularly, which overwhelmed both Sudan and Kenya and Eritrea. Basically, we're talking about a crisis of internal displacement, a crisis of refugees, and that is huge.